Hey brother, let's get real about something you felt in your bones but maybe never had the words for. It's about energy, that unspoken, invisible currency that flows between two people. Women are masters at reading it, their intuition is like a radar constantly scanning for shifts in attention and intention. When you were deep in the chase, your energy was locked onto her like a homing beacon. Every text you sent, every call you made, every bit of your focus was a signal she could feel, a constant hum in the background of her life. It gave her a subconscious sense of security and control, she knew exactly where she stood with you. But the second you make the conscious decision to pull that energy back, not as a game, but as a genuine act of self-respect, everything changes. The vibe shifts dramatically. It's like walking into a room where a fire has been blazing for hours, only to find the embers have gone cold. You don't have to say a word. The silence itself becomes louder than any declaration you could have made. That sudden void, that absence of your once consistent frequency, creates a dissonance that rattles her. It makes her restless and triggers a deep, almost primal curiosity. She starts to question everything. Why does it feel so different? Where did his focus go? Did I just lose something I was certain would always be there? That invisible but palpable shift in your energy is the first and most powerful trigger that pulls her attention back toward you. Think about it like this: how can she ever truly feel your absence if you're always there? Your constant presence, as well-intentioned as it might be, becomes a given. It's like a song playing on a loop in the background. Eventually, the melody fades into noise, noticed only when it suddenly stops. When you are perpetually available, always responding instantly, and prioritizing her above all else, you leave no room for longing to breathe. Desire isn't a flower that blooms under the relentless sun of attention, it's one that grows in the quiet, fertile darkness of space. Your decision to step back creates that crucial vacuum. Initially, she might even welcome it, a sense of relief, a chance to explore other options or simply enjoy the silence without your demands. But that's the illusion of freedom before the ache of absence sets in. The silence you leave behind isn't empty, it's full of echoes. She starts to notice the little things, the lack of your specific humor in her morning, the missing commentary on her day, the void where your energy once resonated. And here's the critical part: it's not really about missing your texts or your calls. Those are just actions. What she truly begins to crave is the feeling those actions generated, the feeling of being seen, of being desired, of having a secure anchor in your attention. That feeling only becomes palpable in its absence. Your retreat isn't a surrender, it's a strategic recalibration that allows her nervous system to finally register what it had grown numb to. You are, quite literally, creating the necessary conditions for her to miss you. Alright, let's talk about the herd. You know the one. It's the crowd of guys who operate on pure panic the second a woman starts to drift. Their instinct is to swarm, to fill the silence with a flood of anxious texts, pleading phone calls, and desperate attempts to negotiate for her attention. This reaction isn't just weak, it's predictable. It confirms every reason she had for pulling away in the first place, framing them as insecure and placing their entire sense of worth in her hands. Her respect evaporates in that moment. Now, contrast that with you. Your silence isn't just the absence of noise, it's a powerful, deliberate non-reaction. It's the ultimate display of emotional self-control. While other men are crumbling, you are composed. While they are begging for validation, you are silently affirming your own. This calm strength is so rare it's almost shocking. It communicates something fundamental that words never could, that your value is not up for debate and your stability is not contingent on her approval. You are not a boy whose world collapses without her attention, you are a man whose purpose is unwavering. This instantly separates you from the predictable pack. She's no longer looking at just another source of validation she can manage, but a grounded force she can't easily influence. That shift, from seeing you as predictable to seeing you as a man of profound inner strength, is what changes the entire game. Your silence forces a recalibration of your entire worth in her eyes. Think of your presence like a sound in a room, a distinct frequency that becomes so familiar it's almost invisible, just background noise she takes for granted. She grows accustomed to the specific tone of your voice, the particular way you make her laugh, the unique sense of safety and identity your energy provides. It's just there. And when something is always there, its value, its sharpness, its essential quality, gets dulled by familiarity. It's only when that sound suddenly cuts out that the silence it leaves behind becomes deafening. Your absence creates a void that distractions will try and fail to fill. She might dive into the social scene, pour herself into other people's company, or chase the fleeting validation of someone new. For a while, it works. The novelty is loud enough to drown out the quiet. But distractions have a short lifespan. They fade. And in the inevitable quiet moments, driving alone, lying in bed at night, the silence settles back in, and that's when the echo of your imprint starts to play on a loop. It's not a conscious choice, it's an autonomic comparison. The new guy's laugh is thinner, his conversation feels superficial, the way he holds her doesn't feel the same. None of them spark the same depth of feeling or challenge her in the way you did. The freedom she thought she wanted begins to feel curiously empty, and what was once just familiar background noise is now recognized, too late, as a foundational melody she can't get out of her head. She didn't lose a fan, she lost the music. Let's be honest, most of this stuff runs on a script. A tired, old playbook that everyone seems to know by heart. The scene is always the same, she pulls away, creates distance, and the guy's designated role is to come chasing after her. He's supposed to double down on his efforts, flood her phone with promises, and basically beg for another chance to prove his worth. It's a dance as old as time, and most women, whether they admit it or not, are conditioned to expect this exact reaction. They see it as confirmation of their power and your neediness. So when you do the one thing the script never calls for, when you simply accept her decision and walk away with a quiet, unshakable dignity, you don't just exit the stage, you tear the whole script to pieces. This isn't a minor plot twist, it's a complete narrative collapse. Her entire framework for understanding the interaction shatters. The confidence she had in predicting your behavior evaporates. That silent, peaceful walking away is the most powerful statement you could ever make. It forces her to ask questions she never saw coming. Wait, why isn't he fighting? Did he not care as much as I thought? Or does he know something I don't? You become an enigma. You break the pattern so completely that she has no choice but to stop seeing you as a predictable suitor and start seeing you as a man of profound and unexpected depth. That moment of shattered expectation is where her curiosity is reborn, and with it, a genuine pullback toward you. Let's be clear, silent treatment is weak. Strategic silence, on the other hand, is powerful, but only if you use it as fuel. The real magic isn't in the act of walking away, it's in what you build in the space that follows. If you just vanish and stagnate, you're just a ghost, a faint memory that eventually fades. But if you channel all that focus, all that energy you were wasting on her, back into yourself, something undeniable happens. You become a project she can't ignore. This is where you flip the entire script. You hit the gym not to make her jealous, but to feel your own strength return. You pour yourself into your work not to show off, but to build a purpose that is entirely your own. You stack your money, you deepen your friendships, you evolve in ways that have nothing to do with her. This isn't about performance, it's about authentic transformation. And even if you have zero contact, this evolution has a frequency she can't help but detect. Maybe she catches a glimpse of a new version of you through a mutual friend's story, or sees a photo where you're carrying yourself with a new kind of confidence. The man she sees isn't the one she remembers. The one she perhaps felt a little sorry for leaving behind is gone, replaced by someone sharper, more grounded, more valuable. That's what gets her, not the silence, but the upgrade. It forces a brutal and unavoidable comparison in her mind. The man she had is gone, and the man who replaced him is the one she probably wishes she'd had all along. Your growth becomes a loud, unspoken question she has to answer. Did she let go of a fixture in her life, or did she lose a prize? The human mind is a machine wired for completion. It hates unanswered questions, unresolved tensions, and most of all, it despises a story that just stops without a proper ending. This is the subtle power of your silent exit. Every other guy she's known has provided her with a finale, a dramatic blow-up, a teary plea, a final message that gives her the closure to neatly shelve the experience and move on. But you gave her nothing. You didn't beg for one last chance or send a long paragraph explaining your pain. You simply accepted her decision and vanished into your own purpose. This doesn't bring her peace, it installs a persistent mental itch she can't scratch. You become the book she never finished, the movie that cut to black before the climax. In the quiet moments, her brain, desperate for resolution, starts looping the questions you left unanswered. Did I mean anything at all? How could he just let me go so easily? Is he hurt, or is he completely unaffected? This lack of closure is a form of psychological gravity, constantly pulling her thoughts back to you. Often, she doesn't reach out again because of some grand, undying love, she does it because the not knowing, the sheer ambiguity of your silence, becomes a burden she can no longer carry. You didn't just walk away, you left a door inside her mind permanently unlocked, and the curiosity of what's on the other side will eventually compel her to turn the handle. Let's talk straight about what's really happening when you walk away. It's not just about leaving her, it's about returning to yourself. You're walking back into your own center of gravity, and that's the most powerful place a man can operate from. This is what's called your frame, your unshakable foundation of purpose, calm, and self-assuredness. Most men live reactively, letting a woman's moods and actions dictate their own emotional weather. They get tossed around in her storm. But when you pull your energy back and refuse to play that game, you are doing more than just ignoring her, you are consciously rebuilding your masculine frame. You stop being pulled by her emotions and start being led by your own mission. This shift is felt. It's a vibrational change. She senses that you didn't crumble without her validation, that your world didn't shrink, it actually got bigger and more focused. This is incredibly disarming. She realizes she wasn't dealing with a boy who needed her to feel complete, but with a man who was complete on his own and simply chose to share his energy with her. That kind of self-possession is unforgettable. She might forget your words, but she will never forget the way you held your ground without a hint of desperation. Your frame doesn't ask for respect, it commands it simply by existing, and that is the most magnetic force a man can ever project.